What up, everybody? I'm making this video as a response to a message I had received on Facebook. Somebody basically asked me, and I don't even know who the hell they are, but they messaged me, I guess they see my videos, asking me that if I'm straight, why do I support gay rights so much? Well, the answer should be simple. Why the hell not? Everybody should have that right to do whatever the hell they want to do, be in love with whoever the hell they want to be in love with. This is America, after all. At least last time I checked, it was. This wasn't like the 1800s, it wasn't the 1900s or anything like that. This is the 21st century. Somebody should be able to marry who the hell they want to marry. They shouldn't have to worry about going down the streets being bullied or, having to stay in the closet so long, I mean, I can only imagine what that must feel like, having to be in this closet in this place where it's just so dark and everything because you got this deep dark secret that you're afraid of everybody to find out. Well, let me go towards this route, okay? Now, you're all probably wondering why the hell I'm wearing face paint. All right, well, I'm definitely going to get to that. I guess the reason why I support it so much, besides the fact that I do have family and friends, and I've come to the conclusion that I like gay people a lot more than straight people. I don't know why, I just do, so, that was another thing. It's one of the things this person called me was a fag hag. Well, you know what? I'll take that. I'll definitely take that, and I will sport it very proudly. Thank you very much. In fact, one of my gay friends calls me that anyway, so it really doesn't break my heart none. Anyway, the whole face paint thing, all right? I've gone, just like a lot of these people, I guess I can feel like I could relate to them in just a little, just a few ways and everything like that. I know what it's like to be bullied. And my entire life, I don't give a damn what the hell Violent J said in Behind the Paint. When you're in second grade, you do too get teased. Or maybe that was just me. I don't know. I mean, everybody seemed to hate me in grade school. And, it followed me up to middle school. And then it followed me up to high school. And, it didn't actually stop until I decided to stop giving a fuck. That was the only time it stopped. Either I was getting made fun of my clothes, or I was getting made fun of because I was fat, or because I wasn't that pretty, or the music I listened to. My God, the list fucking goes on. All right? Shit. A lot of the things I do remember is when I was back in high school, my very best friend in the entire world at that point in time was gay. And when he had come out of the closet, he didn't even do it intentionally. What had actually happened is that he decided to slip off and go mess around with his boyfriend and everything like that. Well, I guess somebody else had the same idea, and they walked in and they actually started snapping pictures, and like the next week, pictures of him and his boyfriend making out were all over the school. And my friend went from being I wouldn't say extremely popular, but everybody liked him, to getting beat up almost every day. He had penises drawn on his locker and everything like that. I remember one instant where he had a full soda can thrown at him, busted him in the head. He had to get stitches. I remember that very clearly. And, it broke my heart to see that because he was a very good person. He still is a very good person, and no matter what you do to him, no matter what you say to him, he's still going to be gay, and he's still going to be a good person. It doesn't fucking matter, people. Come on now. All right. Well, and then, let's talk about my issues there. All right. I went to a school that was full of bigots. I'm telling you, every kind of bigot you could think of, you had them. Either they were bigots against fat kids, they were bigots against race, they were bigots against gays. Everything. It doesn't matter. They were a school full of haters. Okay? Like me, for example. My biggest problem, I think, besides the fact that I was a fat kid, was the fact that I didn't fit in anywhere. And you know what? To this day, I still don't. Not really. But, everybody in that school, I remember, they either like country music or grunge music or rock, right? I was the only kid that I knew of that actually liked rap music. Okay, I like to listen to Snoop Doggy Dogg. I like to listen to Dr. Dre and Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G. and Puff Daddy and all that. And so in my locker, I had pictures of all these rappers all over the place, and that was my thing. You fill your locker up with stuff you like. All right. Well, then on top of that, I did have the Insane Clown Posse, but I only had the Joker's cards because that was back in the day. I think that was like, what, Riddlebox era? Somewhere like that. They didn't show their face all too much, so I had like the Joker's cards up until then up in my locker. But nobody knew what the hell that was either. So, You know, I just got hated on for that. All right. And on top of that, I was a huge basketball fan. I was big into sports and everything. I was a tomboy. I still am. I guess if that's what you want to call it. You know, I sure as hell ain't girly girl. All right. But anyway, I was huge into basketball. Some of my favorite players are, now a lot of you youngins ain't going to know who the hell I'm talking about, but that's all right. Was Anthony Hardaway. He was my number one, you know, my number one basketball player. I loved him. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Dennis Rodman, man. Dennis Rodman was the shit. And he was one of those that actually came out and started cross-dressing and everything. And you know what? Even back in the day, when I was in that school, I thought that was the shit of him, man. I didn't think he was weird. I thought that was awesome that he was being himself. All right. But you know, I remember one comment that I had, and this was only because this chick had checked into my locker. Okay, is it like, you know, let's face it, all right, all those rappers I named off, except for the Insane Clown Posse, and all those basketball players I named off were black. So I remember opening up my locker, and this one little white bitch comes up to me, and she was like, you know what, if you want to be black, why don't you color on your arm with a permanent marker and everything. I'm like, what the fuck, just over my locker, just because I don't like the things you like. That was basically what it all boils down to. And you know, that sucked for me. I mean, it really did. There was many times I was extremely depressed. I tried so hard to fit in, and no matter what I did, I couldn't, because I was different. I was always different. I didn't like the stuff that everybody else liked, you know. I mean, everybody else was crushing on JTT and Leonardo DiCaprio, man. Who the hell was I crushing on? I don't even know at that time. I didn't even like those people. I was crushing on Tupac Shakur. That's who I was crushing on. You know, I was crushing on Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J. That's who I was crushing on. You know, but if I mentioned that to anybody, then I was the weird kid, or I was the, you know, I'd get made fun of for that, you know, just because I didn't have the same taste as everybody else did. All right. So then, you know, all right, so I was majorly bullied, and I know what it feels like. And so it's not right to be bullied because you like something else, you know, just because something is considered taboo to you. All right, you know, I'm gonna steal a phrase from Lady Gaga. I was born this way. I don't know why the hell I'm so goddamn weird, but I am, you know, and nowadays I'm actually damn proud of it. I will be the first to admit to you I am one weird bitch. Straight up. I mean, here, and then, what was it, last year when I was up at work, right? I had this really, really nerdy friend, and, he turned around and, you know, I told him flat out, I said, you cannot stereotype me. And, he was like, oh, I bet I can, all right? He was like, well, I'll stereotype you as goth. I'm like, I'm not goth. All right, so, like, the next day I come dressed up into a different outfit that didn't have no black on it. He's like, what the fuck? All right, and then the next day after that, he's never seen me with nail polish on before, but the next day after that, he seen me with nail polish on, you know, I mean, he seen me with makeup on, you know, off and on, all different kinds of crazy-ass makeup, like you guys see me in my videos, and, I remember his exact word, he's like, fucking A, I give up, I cannot stereotype you, you don't fit in anywhere, and it's like, well, no shit, Sherlock, I done tried to tell you that. Alright, so yeah, to this day, I'm like 29 years old, I enjoy wearing face paint, I wear weird-ass makeup, and I enjoy being weird, I don't even give a fuck, right? Okay, so, anyway, and you know what's funny about that is I consider myself to be a juggalette. I've been down with a clown since Ringmaster era. I am what a lot of people would call an old school or elder juggalo, right? I don't even call myself a juggalette half the time because juggalette wasn't even invented back then, all right? Anyway, for those of you who don't have a clue what the hell I'm talking about, a juggalo and a juggalette is a fan of the Insane Clown Posse, all right? And here's the catch with that, all right? The catch with the Insane Clown Posse is the fact that even though I have absolutely no criminal record, I mean, the biggest thing I have is actually traffic tickets, okay? I don't go around breaking the law and shit like that. But because I have a tattoo that says ICP, let's see if I can get you to see it. It's kind of shitty. I ain't even gonna lie. Hey, you can't see. There you go. And I got the Hatchet Man on my back. And because right now I'm actually wearing an Insane Clown Posse shirt because that's what I grabbed for work. And I have, like, the Gathering of the Juggalo little, what the fuck from the Gathering. You know, just because I got that, I can go into certain states and actually be profiled as a gang member. Do I look like a goddamn gang member to you? You know, I mean, shit. They want to sit there and call us a gang member or gang members and criminals and all that stuff just because we like the Insane Clown Posse, or that we wear face paint to be dumb once in a while, or we wear this shirt and blah 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 and all that other good shit, right? Whatever happened to all the people who wear red and blue? Are they going to be considered Blood and Crip? I didn't think so. All right. So, on top of that, you know, for liking what I like, I'm considered a criminal by a lot of people. The FBI are considering me a gang member. All right. So, you know, with them, they can kind of relate in a way. A lot of people, like especially churches and stuff like that, are considering them to be evil and all that other stuff, you know. That's just not right. It's not right to sit there and call them evil and stereotype them just because they prefer the same sex. It's not right to call me evil just because I like bloody murder music. Just because I like it doesn't mean I'm going to go out and do it. It's no different than watching a goddamn horror movie. The only difference is that it's in words on music versus on the TV screen. And I will argue that till I'm dead in the ground. I mean, look at the movie Saw, all right? You don't bitch about that, but you bitch about the music I listen to, man. Saw was a fucked up movie, all right? Anyway, you know, and so, hell, man, I'm even different than a lot of the juggalos out there. You know, a lot of people will dog on me because I don't have the latest ICB merchandise and all that, so I don't even really fit in there half the time, you know. So I know exactly what these people are going through, just in a different sense, all right? So if you want to sit there and ask me why the hell I do that, I do it. I stand up for the underdog, okay? Well, and here's my thing, you know, if you sit there and you have any kind of human being in you, you know, you're hearing about all these teen suicides and all this and all that, and give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna light a cigarette. Anyway, you hear about all these teen suicides and all that, you know. I'm trying to be proactive here, all right? I'm trying to make these videos, let it be known and all that. It might not be helping all too much, but hey, you know what? Maybe some depressed teenager will watch this and be like, all right, well, if that crazy bitch can make it to age 29, I think I can too, right? But for all of you that are just turning a deaf ear, and those of you who are not saying anything or standing up for anybody else but yourself, you know, you might as well be the one who pulled that trigger. Or, you know, tied that noose around that child's neck. One or the other, because you didn't do nothing. You're sitting there and you say, oh, well, that sucks to be them. But you don't go up there. You don't do what you can. I mean, right now, this is really all I can do. You know, there are really are no issues. I mean, if there was like a gay pride march, you guys goddamn well best believe I'd be out there right now. Right? And I'd be out there with a sign that says, you know what, you need to let my friends and my family get married to whoever the fuck they want. All right? Because shit. Oh, and another thing this bitch said to me, right? She said something about me, I don't know, about me wanting to be like a dude or something like that, you know, that I don't even know where the hell she got that from. I think it was because I mentioned in one of my videos I was a tomboy or something like that. I don't even know. But you know what? I will be the first to goddamn admit I have penis envy. That's right. I said I have penis on YouTube, or penis on YouTube. I just said I have penis envy on YouTube. That means I don't give a fuck. All right? So say whatever the fuck you want to say. It's not going to bother me and it's not going to stop me. All right? And the reason why I have penis envy is because those lucky bastards with the penis get to, you know, stand in the snow and write their name and everything. And I can't do that. I got to squat down and walk around. And then I got like footprints around the P marks. And, you know, I probably won't even make it past the D. You know, at least they can make a couple of letters. I want to be able to do that. Not to mention everybody keeps telling me how awesome head is. You know, so. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. I don't even give a fuck. So say what you gotta say to me, you know, because I know I'm about to get a whole lot of trolls and shit on this one. But that's my point right there. If you don't feel like you can do anything, you know, if you got family or friends and you're just turning the blind eye, you might as well be the one that pulls that trigger, slits that wrist, or ties that noose. Or maybe pops those pills. You may as well be the one who does that to them. You know, because until we can stand up and say, hey, it's all right to be who you are. No matter what you are, who you are. It is all right to be who you are. We're going to continuously hear about these teen suicides and everything. Or, you know, it's not even just teens. It's everybody else. You know, sometimes the underdog needs somebody to stand up for them. So, that's my whole thing. Anyway, this is Voodoo Juggalette, out.